Hey, this is Skinny J. I'm walking with Drew. Check out the new episode now.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Walk with Drew. I am your host, Drew Muzan. Today, I got a special guest. I always say every episode special guest, but this is a real special guest because I've been trying to interview my bro Skinny for about a year. I want to say it's been time. We talked about it about a year ago. About a year. Innovator, curator throughout the city of Charlotte. Everybody knows him, but not only just that, but he's also like a genuine dude. He's also doing some cool things in the city. So, what's up, Skinny? How you doing?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. Glad to have you in here, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. So if you want to just kind of give the people a little bit of basis about who you are and like your kind of your upbringing. Talk about your upbringing and who you are.
Okay, so pretty much I'm Skinny J. I would say a lot of people put me in that curation space, but I'm just a creative, into the art scene. Pretty much LA based, native, South Central, Charlotte, by the way. But I'm just that person, I'm that genuine support person of just within create, but using the resources within other people. So basically my friends and with others helping us bridge that gap to doing way much more we can imagine.
So how did you get into? Was it always that curation space, or did you just kind of just find your way to that space?
Curation came through just working through internships. One was like with Nipsey. He taught me a lot of things just with how he within the community. So that was a big part of like what would make Skinny J or just myself stand out as a creative. And most creative, they work with everybody, but I challenged myself to I want to work with everybody and do everything. Yeah. So it was just basically who I need to know or what can I do to collab with them to, if they got something they want to do,
right,
let's make it so, if it's so small, let's make it so big.
Right. So you name dropped this there 2 seconds ago before we cut on the camera. He said he worked with Nipsey. I said, what? Huh? I didn't know that. I didn't know. So can you talk about how that came about? I know you probably get that access a lot, but that's the first time I ever heard you say that. So can you talk about how that relationship kind of came about?
That came through basically my cousin Shep out there. Shout out to Shep. He's one of Nipsey's best friends, and it was just kind of like. I really, at a time of my life, just with college and stuff, I just really did not know what I wanted to do. And he was just like, I'm going to partner you up with somebody who I know. And I knew Nipsey, his music and stuff, but to really like know him through my intern was kind of like, I saw a different other side. I saw the entrepreneur of him. I saw the family man. I saw the person who a lot of people counted on, a lot of people related to him. And it was a good experience. I was basically that busser, that coffee runner. I worked my way up to, with merchandise in the store and doing the layout. But the Smart Store, when it first opened, 2014, I was one of the ones behind the scenes helping out.
Okay. So you've been in the merchandise game for a minute. So would you say that's where you got your start in? Well, okay, yeah, that is one start. Okay, so how in Charlotte? How did you get into the modeling and then the streetwear? Because that's when I followed you. I'm like, taking pictures every day. It's a new picture. Somebody asking you to J Tips. Everybody is asking you to model for them. Like, how did you get into that whole world?
Just organic relationships, but crazy part, I used to be shy. Like I wear clothes, fashion, but it was to a point to like my friends had brands and I would support them. I didn't need a hookup or anything, but it was just like. They'll be complaining like, I want my brand to be here. And I'm just like, man, we are a walking billboard of our, whatever we got going on. So I just stopped buying clothes and just really started supporting the homies and just supporting the brands that they had, if it was a t-shirt or some pants or something like that, also I buy shoes a lot. So just matching them different, tones and stuff. But streetwear it was just a love. It was like my first love because you can express yourself from a hat, a t-shirt, but it was just a message. I was really big on just if I had a tight graphic on the back, somebody asked me like, where you got that shirt from? So I can plug whoever in, so it just really just my love of just different things and just trying to be unique. Like when you see Skinny J, okay, like top to bottom, he got something on, black owned, or somebody, one of his friends done made, and he really want to support them and, put them on.
All right. So does Skinny have his own brand out here now?
I do. I actually do. You can say I do.
Okay.
I got the Skinny J Friends Only brand. That was,
Okay.
shout out to Shane from Westcott Concept. He helped me with, and it was just as my brand grew, my nonprofit. I just wanted to add some merch, just so it's kind of like a membership. So
Okay.
if you get a shirt, it has the brand on the back end of it, and I didn't put anything on the front because I want you to be the ideal person of the front of the shirt.
Right.
So when somebody see it, they like, okay, you got to either know Skinny or you had to go to like one of his events to really, and it's limited. I do like 10, like every couple, whenever I want to bring it out. But yeah, you can say we got some merch now. So.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because we're going to get into the Skinny J and Friends later because, yeah, so I went to the first, was that the first one I went to? Yeah, that was the first one, the first one I went to, and we got that next one coming up next week, so we decided to talk about that. But so you just talked about a limited run. How important, like, for, like, smaller brands would you say it is, and in trying to gauge, and like, when it comes to engagement, like, how many shirts should somebody get? Like, for me, like, I want to eventually get into it, like, but how does somebody gauge, okay, I'm gonna just do a limited run of 10 or 20 or
I think all brands, even me, I went through it. It's just one of the ones you want to order so many shirts, or they tell you need to order certain sizes. But put it in perspective. I think for me, granted, I had a lot of 2XLs left, so I ended up giving them away to the homies. But then in hindsight, some people, they lose weight, their fitness and this and that, so they might not be a 2X or a 3XL. They might be an extra large by the time when you connect or talk to them. So I just look at it now, just being super exclusive. But if somebody really supports you or really want, they're gonna really go out and ask you for that tee, or want, or actually as soon as you drop it, buy it. And like I just tell people, I like being a part of that exclusive because like example, this hat I have on, my homie J Tips. His hats sell out crazy, and like granted that's my homie, I can hit him, but at the same time, I went on Hat Club and did my fair share, waited in line, and no handouts, no favor, and just was able to cop a pair, cop a hat, but just to sit there, be exclusive, be part of his actual message, his branding, and say I have one of the purple ones that won't never drop out again.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's important too. Like, I've always been one to, like, if you got a homie that I don't never ask for favors or can I get this, I always try to support because I would want somebody to in turn support me with my stuff. Yeah. So when it comes to streetwear, can you talk about some of your inspirations within the whole in the streetwear field, like some brands you look up to?
Got you. Some brands I look up to, it would be BBC with Pharrell, and I would say Bape, like with Nico and them. What else? What's another brand? You talking about just average brands out there, or just brands?
Any brand, any brand, Charlotte brand, any brand.
Charlotte brand, Westcott Studios, what they're doing, just with the dyeing and something just different. A brand back home in LA based, Bob's Liquor Store.
Okay.
Super dope. Tim and them, they just really take behind of, like, not bootlegging type of thing, but they take things that's in the culture and remind you of it through the clothing. So that's the beautiful part. I would say Charlotte. Let me think. My homie Q, he has a dope brand. Let's see who else. There's so many brands out here. Cause I just be wearing brands daily, honestly. So I'm just trying to think. It's a lot out here. Roulette, just with him, just his artistry. I call him like the Charlotte Dapper Dan. So many brands out here, just to name a few. But I just take in consideration just even, being in the rooms to help support these guys and just wear, like the homie J Tips, his brand. And then just also just from my homie Noel, he has a brand called Palisades that's pretty dope. It's like a Jamaican, from his Jamaican roots and culture.
So when it comes to streetwear, fashion, anything, what do you feel like is the top 3 things of successful streetwear brand, like, you need to have if you want to be successful in the streetwear culture and this culture? What's the top 3 things you feel like we need to have?
A message, that message/purpose of what the brand stands for. I would say pretty much message/purpose. I got 2 more things. I would say just the branding behind it.
Okay.
Yeah, some brands, I think they don't have that branding behind it to you know, they put a shirt out every couple months, but it's not that story they're telling. And then I would just say, honestly, just the confidence, you know, as your team, or just, you know, you can have a brand team, and then, you know, like my homie Q, he wears his brand every day. And he said he don't wear anything, and I've been knowing Q for years, and just the, you know, he's been doing it for, you know, for a couple years, but just to wear it every day, that shows the confidence he has in his brand, and it shows just, you know, it's not saying he knock out any other brands, but he really care about his message and want people to see, like, anytime he step out, I have my own brand. You know, so just having that confidence of knowing where you want to see your brand go within a couple years.
All right. So you had mentioned a lot of homies, a lot of people that you got connected with. Can you talk about that relationship building? Like, how did you forge all of these relationships over the years? Or is it just by luck, or you just put yourself out there?
Honestly, you know, you can use you as an example. Just like, you know, I didn't know who Drew was, and, you know, but then I seen content, and then I just seen stuff, and, you know, when you reached out, but I'm always just on the gram, just looking at different stuff, and I'm a person who just really, when I see something, I go to like YouTube, because I watch YouTube a lot. So when I saw you had like a YouTube following, so I followed, and then what you was doing was something different that I never really saw. And that's one thing that's big on me. Like, I like being different. I like being in different conversations, because I feel like everybody do the same thing, or they piggyback. And,
a lot.
Just being different, it was just organic relationships, to where, like, you know, meeting people, you know, even if it's through DMs, but then actually just setting up a meeting, just having that talk. A lot of people, they figure out what I do, and I just kind of tell them, like, I do everything. Like, I can model, I can, you know, help produce things. I help behind the scenes with certain photographers, or just put plays together to connecting people. You know, Young Citizen, shout out to him. He called me like that community connector in the city, because I bring a lot of people, because it's just like, granted, we got our own things, but I might be that missing link to, like, oh yeah, that's my homie, I could plug you in, or they think, oh, this person's too busy. Nah, let me just hit them for you right fast and get it together. But just them organic relationships of genuine supporting people, and it just stays locked in, and it's just like, you know, like I tell a lot of people, I don't need a dime for anything. It's just, I see where you want to go, and I want to be a part of that story, and then, you know, because you're a part of my story, because we're helping each other get to that actual finish line. So.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that means a lot. What year did you touch down in Charlotte?
I would say probably like 2000, it was like, probably, because I was back and forth, so probably like 2009.
2009. From then to now, can you describe just the Charlotte overall creative scene? Not just talking about streetwear, modeling. Could you get into just from what you've seen from time you touched down to now, like how it's evolved, or just your take on the Charlotte creative scene?
I would say the Charlotte creative scene, it's beautiful, but like before, like I tell a lot of people, I was that shy creative where I didn't really talk to people. It was just that, you know, not that LA mind state, but it's just like, if I don't know you, I just don't know you. But it was just, I'll go to these places and be like, man, it's people just like me. Like, you know, they into art, they into music and stuff like that. And I really wouldn't say nothing, but then I had to think about it. I'm like, if I want to collab or create with these people, or people to know me, I gotta say something. I gotta enter, because a lot of people, you know, still they be like, what Skinny do? Like, but then when they go to an event or something and they see everything, they like, okay, this is what Skinny do. He's like a super creative. But the scene before, I think it's opening up, because you have different creatives within the city now, and you have, you know, not saying cliquish, but from different interpretations. Like, for example, you might have a black market, you know, that scene, but then you might have a McFly from screen printing, but then you know, you have the photography creative scene, when you have all these beautiful photographers, or then you have like the podcast, or you have the content creators that's doing different things within the actual city. I think the only thing that is still missing, that I think we got to get it together, and that's, I feel like I'm a bridge that gap, is just connecting with each other. And, because I think a lot of us, we don't know each other, but then at the same time, we see each other's stuff, and it's kind of like, you know, granted, we might think they're biting off of what we're doing, but at the same time, is it really biting if I'm just doing something different? But then again, it's too, a lot of people don't know the actual purpose behind creating. So they might be like, okay, he threw a clip up about this, and then I just did mine last week.
Right.
Oh, he's trying to bite my style. Not really, but do you know the purpose of why he, you know, because it might be from somewhere else, or, you know, put it in perspective, helping with nonprofits. Everybody say, oh yeah, we help. You know, I'm doing this, oh, this person want to copy me and do that, but then again, this person may be locked in helping this nonprofit for years, and they're just now putting it on Instagram or that, you know, because some people like to do it in private because they just don't want people to feel, you know, a way that they're doing it and they've been doing it, you know, so.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that a lot. I think a big thing is definitely like networking. Like connecting, because that's like when I set out the goal a couple of years ago, like, okay, I want to get plugged in with a lot of people in the city. That was a goal, you know, and I had to put myself out there. I had to go to these events, but I think there was also, I think COVID had a big impact. We're going to talk about that next. But COVID had a big impact, but I also, it's just like you don't see a lot of events like what you're doing with Skinny J and Friends. I'm like, that's a prime event where people get out there and shake hands.
It's free, and then some of these events are free, or like even with my events, like, you know, granted, they were free, but then they kind of turned into ticket events, but I do it because I don't benefit from the proceeds. The proceeds go to other nonprofits, so I kind of pour in, you know, I pour into the event, but then I pour right back out to spread that olive branch. And, you know, these other events, you know, from an art gallery or art showings or even things like at the Mint, these are free to where you can come in there, even if you have business cards, or just, hey, how you doing? I like what you're doing, and just really connect with people.
Yeah. And I saw that there, like at the Skinny J and Friends event. Like I met a couple artists and I followed them after the fact. Couldn't get up with them because of just COVID and everything else. But yeah, talk about that. Just talk about you as an impact. How did COVID impact you as a creative the last 2 years?
Man, honestly, COVID impacted me. I would say it had me down for a minute because I just really did not know. Like I'm just like, man, because I had just started like events, you know, doing like little events. So I'm like, I was on a roll, you know, and it just, but I really, that just made me sit down and just look at me as a creator, like, what can I do to where, like, even the content I post just from pictures and stuff like that, it was just like, what can I do? You know, granted, I can't really be outside, but what can I do? And that's just from when I just started kind of going back into looking at different photos I took and just looking at, you know, the meaning behind them, but then also just from dropping gems to like dropping like a little post on there, just some poetry I done wrote to help motivate somebody, or just even, I think for me it was like, I call my Instagram the community Instagram. So it was like, okay, I see people doing online stuff, let me just repost their stuff on my page, just shout them out, and I just started, everybody just was like, you know, loving it. So I was just like, I'm gonna just do that and just chill, you know, till we get back outside. But then at the same time, I was doing little mini photo shoots here and there, but I was just like, at the end of the day, I want my friends to kind of shine too. Right. So if they got something going on online, Viva Online, or if they got a new CD or something, you know, anything with their brand that I can help boost them up too, let's do it. Because, you know, some people just don't know. And, you know, they say, oh, Skinny rocking with it, or, okay, let me tap in and see what's going on.
Yeah, I think people underestimate the power of a share.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Underestimate the power of a share.
Or they look at it from a numbers game, and like I tell people, numbers are cool, but for me, like support, like I'm really like active. I'm out here, like it's not like, you know, I need that number, you know, I need 50
so that doesn't
likes.
move you? Yeah.
Nah, I never been a type like I need 50 likes, and there's ain't no you know shade to somebody who do it, but it's just like. It's just, I know people gonna show up for me. I know just even if I drop something, it can get 2 likes, but I know the meaning, the purpose of what I drop. Like, I like it. You know, I don't really care if don't nobody else. I like it, and it's just, at the same time, too, it's like, that share is free. Yeah. It's free 99. Like, it take 2 seconds just to share what you got going on, you know, and then just, some people, they might be like, oh, snap, Drew is super hard at his content, but maybe nervous, but it's like, oh, I see somebody sharing stuff. He gonna be out there. Right. I might can, you know, pull up early and kind of chat with him before he gets started. Yeah. So
I think social media kind of a lot of times like has a way of masking stuff. Like you don't get that many likes, but then people in the behind the scenes will be like, oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was hard. I'm like, well, like how come y'all didn't show no support? Like, you know, I see that a lot.
And I think a lot of people, they just with the repost reposting too. It's just like they like in that moment, and it's like I'm one of the ones I like in that moment. But if it's like hard, I'm gonna repost it right there, just because it's like yo, and I might double back and repost it again because it was fire to me. So
right, yeah. So we talked about Skinny J and Friends, but then also I was scouring your page and I seen your brand, your creativity and collaboration media. You still have that? You still have that going?
I do. I did. I used to do photography in college a little bit, and I stopped because I still got my camera. It sucked that I'm gonna say this, but I got a Canon. But
hey, I'm using Canons.
okay.
You don't like Canons?
No, I like Canons. And I still have that camera to this day. It was photography. It was a passion. I could say with the modeling going back. I tried it, and it was just, I think one day one of the homies was like, man, you need to get in front of the camera. And I think for me, I would look at like my flaws and stuff and be like, nah, that ain't me. I just take pictures and, try and edit. But then one day I just tried it, and I was just like, I just sat the camera down and never went back. I kind of pull it out sometimes just for special events or like if, something that I really want to capture. But, yeah, and
in front of the lens now.
Yeah, but I would say I still got it. I need to because I need to bring it up because I think with my brand, I have people documenting me, but then also too, I want to document as I go through stuff too, so I can go back and look at that footage and be like, yo, like this was crazy,
Yeah.
So.
So I want to pivot really quickly and talk about kind of consistency. So one thing with you, like I've told you before, like consistent. Like when it comes to promoting your stuff, when it comes to doing what you're doing, talk about the consistency that you've put in and like how you developed that and like where that's come from.
Just betting on myself. You got yourself with things, but then also too, it's like I got a showcase coming up now. And, granted, I can send the emails, have my team send emails about promoting this and that, but like I tell a lot of artists, I'm gonna have a good time regardless.
Right.
Like it's whatever to me, but at the same time, if people really support you and really want to see you, you should be pushing that flyer. You should be pushing it because you got fans out here just as, not saying I got fans, but you got supporters who they want to see you. But if you don't really show you 100% in that craft, then it's like, are they really gonna take you serious? Or you got some people they play the analytic game where okay, I'm gonna drop it the day of, and that's cool. But at the same time, like my event was in August, I started promoting it in July, and I always push it a month because I know at the end of the day I bet on myself.
Right.
So it's like I could be at the end of the day I could be mad at myself, but at the same time I could put it in the hands of others. It's what you choose, up to you, what you want to do. But I'm gonna be good because at the end of the day, I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Everything, we're gonna have a blast. But if you got one supporter there, you have to look at yourself and say, what did you do? Because I gave you the tools, I gave you the promotion, I gave you this and that, but you didn't do anything with it. So I can't really help that I provided and you didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. So getting into Skinny J and Friends, I went to the first event. You guys went to the first event, and it was dope. And I hadn't been to nothing like it. It was all. I believe all the artists were from the city, right? Correct. At the first one, right? Or were they spread out?
They were spread out. I think we had a lot. Like even like this one, it's a lot on there. But they spread out.
They spread out. But yeah, it was the first one I went to. It was straight. I had me a little drinky drink. I was out there chilling. I was out there vibing. Everybody was just out there chilling. It was a vibe. Talk about the inception, like the concept that you had for it, and then how it's evolved to upcoming next week when we have that.
I would say, I love shows in Charlotte, but it's the same shows. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's the same show, same venue, and it's like, I'm like, they the homies. I love supporting them. I love, paying, but I'm like, it's some gems in the city that we don't know, or they're behind other gyms helping them write or helping them this and that with vocals, and it's just like they need a turn to share what they got going on. So I just thought, I was like, man, I just want to do something to put the homies on, or just put my friend, like my dope, because I listen to music. I don't really listen to radio music. I just listen to underground or just like my friends' music, and it was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just throw my own thing, get behind just certain businesses, resources, and just throw events, like even from You know, we had the first one at Dup and Swat. We had an art event, Skinny J and Friends collab with Black Market. I had a photo conscious, like a photography event, collab with McFly. But just taking all these and just, you know, granted, we see the same photographer, same artist. Let's just get some people who you never really seen and just put them on this main stage. It's just really, because it's just like, oh snap, I didn't know you sing. Or I didn't know you do this or that. And it's just like, also it brings everybody who I know or support just to network. And that's my biggest thing. I just want you to network, meet somebody who you don't know, because that person can help you get to wherever you want to get to.
Right.
You know, and to where it's at now, it's because I think I started October of, I can't think, was it 2021? Yeah. And to see where it's at now, to where like this the last one, and
last one for now or last one?
This the last like one having in the actual venue, because next year it's just festival. I'm doing like a big festival, and it's just the festival will be catered to a lot of Charlotte artists, and to where we have sponsorships and stuff like that. But this will be like, you know, somebody like you, I might say, hey Drew, do you want to come out there and set up a booth? Free on me, just to do, you know, talk with artists and stuff like that. But it's just basically with that Skinny J and Festival next year, it's bringing the community, because pretty much, you know, I wanted to do one this year, but it's just, it's a lot of stuff. And I know with me, I'm a perfectionist. So I was just like, I was just harping like, you know, how I'm gonna do everything. But then, you know, God talked to me, and just praying to him, and he was just like, just wait your turn. Like everything's gonna fall into place, but also be patient, because I wanted to be successful. Yeah. And one of the things that when, you know, after praying with God, it was just like, boom, like you're already in the community. Use the community as your festival. So basically, we take somebody like you, we take Black Market, McFly, Dup and Swat, we take photographers who I know. That's my whole festival right there. It's just putting the logistics together. The community makes the festival. All I do is bring the artists. Artists within the community are the performance. The supporters gonna come, because I have everybody already in my community doing this festival. So it's basically like a big family cookout. And everybody coming.
That's a dope concept, So did we get an exclusive drop that you dropped at the festival? Have you told that to anybody?
Oh yeah, exclusive drop.
Exclusive drop. We got a festival next year. But talk about, so with that, and then with the Charlotte artists, how did you are these prior connections that you already had, or did you just like, I listen to their music? Like, how did these connections?
Prior connections, but then also too, it's like, I'm one of the ones I'm just active and just pulling up on them too, to really just getting to know him. Like, example, you know, shout out my dog Elevator J. Like, he is such a legend. I love Elevator, to where, you know, his music it gives you Charlotte. And he was one of the first people music who I listened to just here. And then it just opened me up to, you know, Autumn Rainwater, Cuz O'Key, like, and just really giving them their flowers, because they know their artistry is beautiful. But to really just tap in and just let them know, like, hey, I'm a super fan. Like, I have an Autumn Rainwater, you know, first, you know, one of her first things when she first dropped, you know, from saved on my computer to like, oh snap, you know, with her rollout, you know, with Elevator, I have a player-made T-shirt going to these events.
We should bring those back.
Hey, he working on something. I can't really give details, but he working. Jay is in the lab, you know. But just with these organic relationships, and just letting them know, like, I really rock with your music, and then just not just being a fan. It's just like, even like with Cuz O'Key, like, that's my dog, and it's just like I help with some of his logistics. So it's like me, and that was just, I met Key from always listening to his music, never really would talk to him, and then when he had a show, we just chopped it up, and it was just kind of like we've been locked in ever since. And it was just like, I told him, like, I know where you want to go, but how can we get there, you know? And then just, you know, just organic relationship, just like even my homie Sam, who gives me gems about just me branding, but just really keeping those organic relationships, but picking and choosing the things I want to do, so I won't saturate my brand.
So is there a music leg to this? Like, I know we talked about fashion, we talked about streetwear. Are you going to Skinny J Music Management coming out soon? Because I know you love music. I see it. You know, connections that you got.
Man, music, it's there. A lot of people say I'm like an A&R because I know certain sounds.
Yeah.
It's there. I do a lot of behind the scenes with a couple artists, and then a couple artists are just the homies who really chop up game. Like shout out to Larry June, Dave East. They really, shout out Nipsey. Rest in peace. But they really put me on game to just knowing things and just how the music work, but then also just that core following and just shout out to Luke too. Like that's big bro, but Luke just to like we always talk to where I mean when Luke was just back in the day, just working, and just to see where he's at now, just a beautiful part of just that balance.
Yeah.
And that was just something me and him and Citizen had a conversation, just with balance and just because I do a lot of things, but just also put it in perspective of how those things balance out to get to the next step.
Yeah. So where would you say what's next for Skinny J? I know we talked about the festival. We talked about Skinny J and Friends you got coming up next week. But what's next after the festival or making it broader? What's next for Skinny J?
What's next for Skinny J? We got the festival. Honestly, just really getting into my creativity, but really, because I think I'm like at a 75%, but putting that 100% battery in my back to being a creative full time.
Okay.
And with that, with my nonprofit, creativity and collaboration, using that to spark these conversations to help people with collaboration, to get in sponsorships, to just being that full time creative and just really being, granted I'm that Skinny J that put the puzzle pieces together, but really out here putting them together, I can see a Skinny J and Panthers collab or Charlotte FC, but to really have, my friends come within me that following, that will be next for me. And it's just growing, because I see myself beforehand in October last year doing something like this or just collaborating in general. It's like, I would never do this, but to see it now, the impact, it's helping so many people, and it's just like I think for me, I never saw it as big until a lot of people just really like when I go out, thank you Skinny, or even for example, I think I just got back into Mad Miles, and I was just over it when it first started because I was like, I'll do it one time, but just to go back out there and get into it, and so many people hit me like, you pushed me to come out there now, like, and I'm like, man, it took me a minute because I wasn't going to no gym, no nothing, but just coming out there and just them reassuring like you can go at your own pace, and just random people just coming to me just saying, or hit me with a DM saying, we appreciate you, like, where is it at? Thank you for the info, like, I'm out there Tuesday, like, it just helps because I'm like, man, just my little impact, me, just Skinny, just really moving people, like, that's just crazy. So.
Yeah, and you never know your impact until like after the fact. And I want to give you flowers on that too, man. Like it's when, especially like the event, like we need, like, especially people in the city, like we need events like that, especially like where people who are, I would say, lesser known, but it's like lesser known can get that love. Get that love and get a platform. Like, like I remember on the first one, you made Cuzzo the headline. You made Cuzzo the headline on the first one. Like we don't get like the like lesser known artists for the time being don't get the platform to be, I'm headlining a show, like and stuff like that. So I want to give you flowers on that, man. Like I appreciate you doing that.
And a lot of people look at Skinny, like I tell a lot of people, Skinny J and Friends as like that big deal. But like I tell a lot of people, like I had to, with my team, we had to talk about getting an email for submission because we got to do it right. I didn't want it to be like, okay, I'm just putting the homies on. Like, if you really take ownership of your craft, send that submission or whoever from your team, but then also, let us know about the music so we can listen if we don't know. But then also, it's just taking the ones who we see out here grinding, and they might not be at that, Sianka stage, but they have a presence, and it's just like, let's put them within different people to like, oh snap, like you're really dope,
So give the people your socials and where they can find you at and follow you at.
Okay. You can follow me at Instagram _SkinnyJ_. I'm working everything else out, but most of the time everything's in my bio from just creativity and collaboration. That's the brand. Friends only, Skinny J and Friends, all in the bio. But yeah, and then like I tell people, I'm just active. I'm out here, so you can catch me at an art event and I'm just Skinny J. You just say what's up and we can chop it up.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you coming in, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. It's been another episode of Walk With Drew. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment, and share this video out if it bless you. Appreciate you guys. See you next time. Peace.